with Run DMC and our little brother Blair Underwood. Much love to Blair. That was the first movie. So then there was a guy named Reggie Hudlin who wrote a wonderful script, and an associate of ours, Robert Ford Jr., knew Reggie, and Reggie had in the script the bullies in the school were muscle-bound, Jerry curl with eyes, force. And that was the script when I saw it. I'm like, so Robert said, hey, well, why get some guys like Full Force when I can call Full Force for you? And Reggie's like, really? He said, yeah, let me give him a call. So I was home working on the song, and Robert said, Paul, you're going to get a call from this guy named Reggie Hutton. I think he's a talented dude, and he's got a little script that's really nice. Why don't you check it out? I said, no problem, because we're always open-minded. Absolutely. So I got a call from Reggie Hutton, and he called me, and he told me about the idea of the script and the concept and the whole nine. And I was like, and I was working on some music at the time. I said, well, Reggie, look, send it over, man. You never know, like that. And he sent it over, and I read some of it, and I'm like, okay, this is interesting. So the first thing I did is let me call Lou, because that's Lou's wheelhouse. That's his avenue. He's been writing little scripts for us to do little plays in the house for my mother and dad since we were 11 years old. So that was naturally for him. So I gave it to Lou, and Lou's like, hey, Paul, he starts switching things around. Instead of B being Pee-wee, he said, I'm going to be Pee-wee. I'm going to talk like this throughout the whole movie. That's what Lou thing. And B to be Zilla. I was always the main guy. And when we met with the Hutland brothers, we started rewriting all our lines. We started changing things in the script. We ended up rewriting, I think, 95% of their lines. Everything that people remember from I smell to, or I'm gonna kick your freaking ass. We made all that stuff up. You know what I mean? So then we just vibe with everybody on the set. You know, Tisha, Mom was like a little brother, and the rest is really history.
Absolutely. Cult classic movie history. For those people who do not know House Party, you need to check out that movie. Absolute classic, totally hilarious. Oh my goodness. We love what you did, so thank you so much. Can I ask you, when are you doing more acting again?
Well, you know what? People's been asking me to do that and get an agent and everything. So I'm going to really start taking it seriously, because that's one thing that's timeless. You know, you ain't got to be the latest fad. You just got to, you know, be believable. So we're going to start doing that again. We have a couple of interesting projects that we're going to start moving. You know, you just have to stay tuned to the websites and see what's going on with us.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what do you think about the direction the music industry has gone in the last few years?
Right. Well, in the last few years, I understand it because I'm a businessman. But just because I understand something doesn't mean I agree. You know, in life, sometimes it's not what you agree or disagree. It's just understanding. So I understand it. I'm not a fan of a lot of it, but I understand. And then things just got so diluted. Next thing you know, everybody get a Fruity Loops program, and boom, I'm a producer. And like, you know, you turn around, everybody's a producer, everybody's a writer, everybody's a rapper. But no, you know, it's not for everybody. But sometimes because it's free and because it's out there and it's now accessible, you don't need a label to really get yourself out there. It gets crowded, you know, overcrowded.
Absolutely. So, yeah, I wanted to ask you, thank you for saying that, because you are so experienced and you've done so much, and we know there's so much more you are going to do. Can you give any advice to like some aspiring artists and entertainers? Because I know they're going to want to hear some of that from you, please.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the music industry changes, but the game still remains the same. At the end of the day, it still comes down to relationships, who you know, what you know, and being in the know to get to meet the right person, or being someplace where the right person can find you, you know. So yeah, I would say make as many relationships as you can now. Because of social media, you can do your own thing. You can put out your own songs and everything like that, but everybody's doing it. So be at the events, be certain places. I'm a firm advocate of the fact that when I'm in the space, wherever it is, where it's happening, I know the universe is going to bring to me what I'm supposed to have, because I know I'm magnetic like that. Everybody needs to feel that way. You need to feel that way when you step in with a sense of presence. And then don't be afraid to step to someone. I'd rather step to someone and then say no than not step to them at all. I can't accept not taking a shot. You know, I'd rather take a shot and be dissed than not take a shot at all. So
Absolutely.
don't be afraid to make that relationship,
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Can I ask you, is there anyone who you would say has been extremely influential in your career?
In my career, well, there is the obvious. There is, of course, my mother and father, you know what I mean? Because it started with him, what he did, how he shaped my voice, how he taught my work ethic. It starts there, And then there's a lot of musicians, fellow musicians, I'm still a fan of, that was very influential in flavor and in the way they carry about their business, their style, good brother, now in heaven, Prince. He was very influential. We've had the good fortune to meet, working a couple of things, but he's always said, I'm going to do it my way. I don't follow nobody's groove, nobody's trend. I'm doing it this way from day one. He's always been that way. Whether you think I'm straight, whether you think I'm gay, good. If it's controversial, let's rock. He's always been that way. And I vibe with anybody who goes against the grain, who does their own thing, who walks to the beat of their own drum, who don't follow trends. I'm always that kind of guy.
Oh, yes, this is lovely. Manna to my ears. Thank you so much. Have you got any sayings or mantras that you like to try to live by?
Yeah, I have several, me being a cancer champion, I try to tell everybody, when it comes to the health aspect, I've been fortunate enough to inspire a lot of people. As Full Force as a whole, we inspire a lot of people when it comes to training and working out and staying in shape. But me, I've always been the main one to push that and be that. When I was on stage, taking off my shirt and my pants and doing my bodybuilding poses, nobody was doing anything like that. So I've always been a firm believer of the mind, body, and spirit connection. What the mind can manifest, the body will follow and be fueled by the spirit. And you bring all of that together. I used it in the gym. I used it when fighting cancer, and it's there to your availability. You don't need no doctors, nobody for that. It's all there. Sometimes it's alignment for the assignment. Bringing things together to get it done. I tell people proactivation times integration equals eradication. In other words, be proactive with your health, be proactive with your love, your relationships, move forward with that, and then integrate it. When it's sometimes not this or that, it's this and that. Use everything to your availability, and that's where you can eradicate disease, eradicate bad love, all those kind of things. So I have a lot of little phrases. My main phrase that people know me for is move like it's already done and fight your fight like it's already won. I'm always moving in affirmation. I'm always thinking when I get to the next level, when I write this hit, when the Backstreet Boys become huge, when Rihanna puts that out, when I beat this disease, I got things to do. So always forge ahead like that.
Absolutely fantastic. We are about to take a short break, but just one question before we go to break. What would you say has been some of the secrets to your longevity and success?
Well, the first thing is I have a tattoo on my neck right here. It says, to thyself be true. That's the first thing you got to do. You got to be true to yourself. You can't be what other people want you to be. Sometimes just be the best you. Competition is good, but I always like to compete against the Paul Anthony of last year. Okay, at this same time last year, where was I? Have I moved forward? So you got to be true to yourself. That's one of the keys, period.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm here with my special guest here on the Ask Avani Show. We are about to take a short break. We will be right back on the other side after this. Full force. Hi, this is Avani. You're listening to the Ask Avani Show, and we'll be right back on the other side after this. Good afternoon and welcome back. This is the Ask Avani Show. I'm here with my very special guest this afternoon, Paul Anthony from Full Force. Welcome back.
Hey, what's going on? I'm right here.
Oh, yes, fantastic. It's been amazing speaking with you. I would love to know, because Full Force, has been featured on the US TV Unsung documentary series. Documentaries like that are great because they chronicle, people's journeys to success. But I've also found they can be very revealing as well, sometimes mentioning things that are personal and close to the heart. How do you cope with that?
I was fine. I was fine because whatever was put out there, we meant it to go out there. Whatever showed itself, sometimes people just want the real. If you keep it real and speak into it, get into it, and get past it, it'll be just fine. You know what I mean? So people get so uptight, and now with social media, there's nothing sacred. You know, all kind of stuff come out. So it is what it is.
Yeah, people got to be prepared for that. I mean, you mentioned it, you touched on this earlier, and I really would love you to go into it a bit more now, please. You are in remission as a survivor of cancer. Congratulations, prayers for that.
Thank you.
You have an amazing story to tell. How is it that you can be so open to share and talk about your journey through cancer?
Well, I've always been a confident guy. I've always been the tip of the sword, let's say, the first one in, I've always been that type of guy. Even when I was younger, running the streets, I've always been a guy that's very confident. So when it came out, first of all, I said, well, let me keep private because I have to put all my force fields in to dance with the animal because it's going on right now. I need to rock with this. But once I got through a certain point of putting it under remission, we knew it wasn't cured. We knew it might come back in 5 years. So my thing was, well, I'm going to move like it's already done. I'm going to move like I know I got this covered. But if the unexplainable occurs and unforeseeable happens, it's important that I leave my mark. It's important that I leave a legacy. So I've got to do more than just eat, sleep, and breathe, and breathe with this. I got to see, can I be impactful and touch lives? I've done it with music. I've done it with film. Now it's time to do it with purpose. Mm-hmm. So my whole thing was, the Father, he gives his toughest battles to his toughest warriors. Mm-hmm. And you've got to believe that. And then when you finish believing that, you've got to know that. So I always knew that he'd be purposing me to have wonderful interviews in the future with Avani and things of that nature. I always knew there was something to do. So I always kept that in front of me. I said, you know what? Right now, he's going to put me through some things so people will know my words of life and death is true. And afterwards, it'll add validity to feed purpose and be obedient, be benevolent, do all those things. So I just kept that in front of me, working out, doing all the things. It's so funny. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and my first marriage, the divorce lasted 11 years. Let go. And this is my 11th year for since I've diagnosed with cancer. And if you look up the numbers 111, it means believing, beginning, always being conscious of what you're saying. So there's connectivity in all things. So these are all the tools that I had to my availability. Even when my doctor said it's life or death, and when it came back 5 years and it came back much more aggressive, and this time my bone marrow got damaged, and then myelodysplastic syndrome set in, and eventually acute myeloid leukemia, and that's when it became life or death. And that's when I told my doctor, I said, well, hurry up and finish doing what you're going to do, so me and the Father are going to do what I know we're going to do, because he has things for me to do. And that's the way I kept. That's it. That's all I can. I never said, why me? I was like, let's dance. Let's dance.
Wow. Wow. And you have set up your cancer foundation, the Paul Anthony Foundation. So yes. please, would you please tell the listeners a bit more about that as well? Because you give so much information and education.
Yes, the Paul Anthony Foundation, or the Paul Anthony Cancer Champion Foundation. And that's one of my other phrases. The cancer survivor walks the earth, but the cancer champion conquers the world. And that's nothing taken away from the survivor. That's great. But when you've gone through a certain battle, a certain challenge, you want to do more than just survive. You want to live. You want to be a champion, constantly in motion. You want to have that mindset, So with the Paul Anthony Cancer Champion Foundation, we try to teach people on all aspects of it. First of all, be proactive with your health, and don't wait. That's what I didn't do. I didn't wait. I went, I got my self-checked out, then double-checked, then triple-checked. You want to make sure. You want to go ahead and do that. And then the importance of early testing, the importance of diagnosis, the importance of all these clinical trials. They're very key to people. But nutrition, Hippocrates says, let food be thy medicine. So what you eat is very key, and we get away from certain things, but we got to keep that in mind also, to cleanse the body. I tell people that through my various cancers that I dealt with, and then The worst cancer is not myelodysplastic syndrome or acute myeloid leukemia. The worst cancer is not lung. The worst cancer is not pancreatic.